Good morning. Welcome to our thought for this day, this 24th of March. It's very good to have you with us. And I think I'm sure you've read this passage before, but it's such a rich tableau. Let us dive inside it. And I encourage you as you do that to hear it again and wonder which of the characters and who you side with. John chapter 12, verses 1 to 11. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, the home of Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. There they gave a dinner for him. Martha served, and Lazarus was one of those at the table with him. Mary took a pound of costly perfume made of pure nard, anointed Jesus' feet, and wiped them with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But Judas Iscariot, one of the disciples, the one who was about to betray him, said, "Why was this perfume not sold for 300 denarii and given to the poor?" He said this not because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. He kept the common purse and used to steal what was put into it. Jesus said, "Leave her alone. She bought it so that she may keep it for the day of my burial. You will always have the poor with you, but you do not always have me." When the great crowd of the Jews learned that he was there, they came not only because of Jesus, but also to see Lazarus, whom he'd raised from the dead. So the chief priests planned to put Lazarus to death as well, since it was on account of him that many of the Jews were deserting and were believing in Jesus. The tragedy of this scene is that Jesus wants his disciples to have a rest, and he needs them united. The world and Judas are plotting against him. They all seem to be settling back into a meal and enjoying being together. But in the story, we're told, we can feel the tension in the air crackling away. There is the tension between the two sisters, Martha and Mary. And there's the struggle with Judas and his misappropriation of the money. We feel we know the two sisters because they're talked about in Luke 10. Martha, as recorded in Luke, has made a great dinner for Jesus and his followers. Mary, not to be outdone, steals the center stage with her outrageous gesture of anointing Jesus' feet and wiping them with her hair. To do this, she would have let down her hair, which this alone would have shocked her Middle Eastern guests anyway. That's akin to a woman hitching up her skirt to the top of her thighs. So you can just imagine how shocked the disciples and others would have been. It must also have been quite a shock to have Lazarus at the table, having been recently raised from the dead. Lazarus alone would have been enough for the disciples to talk over. But then enter Mary. The perfume she poured onto Jesus' feet would have flooded the room, and the disciples would have looked on embarrassed. There would have been further embarrassment by Judas's outburst and Jesus' strange comment. Mary took a huge risk. What she did could have been seen as wonderfully extravagant and well beyond conventional behavior. The others probably expect Jesus to chastise her. Yet she took this risk to show how much she loved Jesus. And Jesus stood up for Mary and said, "Leave her alone." Mary was accused unfairly, and Jesus, who could so easily have remained silent, came to her defense. When was the last time you took a risk for your faith, doing what was right instead of what was easiest? When was the last time you spoke up for someone when it would have been so much easier to bow your head in silence? Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a blessed day.